I can guarantee you every single YouTube commenter sitting on their ass saying, I do this punish all day, my boxer's on my couch with no shoes on, has never in their life come even close to as tense of a situation in gaming as this. Ever. I guarantee you 10 out of 10 times those dudes would be put in this situation with this much pressure and they would drop the ball. They would throw a brick in this moment. Just wanted to say I really like your content. Got from I don't know anything about the game to plan like 2 to 3 months for my tips. Damn, what an endorsement. 2 to 3 months? I did all the work. It's actually really fast, man. But just kidding. You know, you're the one who put the work in. So good shit to you, Yelkin. That's pretty sick. Speaking of pretty sick, have you guys been checking out those Street Fighter League matches? The Street Fighter League matches lately have been pretty awesome. In fact, there is a super awesome moment that happened recently in Street Fighter League. I shared this on my Clips channel, actually. And I figured I'd just share that with you guys again if you missed out on it, because I just thought it was super sick. So let's check that out real quick.
Oh, this is tough. This is actually pretty tough. He's cooking him up pretty hard now.
Okay. Oh my god, look at Grips.
Mr. Crimson looking to clutch it out here.
And he doesn't have...
What's the setup?
Oh!
Oh!
That game for Mr. Crimson. That's gonna be the first loss, and Mr. Crimson already up.
So, super awesome moment from Street Fighter League and a great clip aside from the bumbling buffoon in the bottom right-hand corner adding absolutely no value to the clip whatsoever, but I really enjoyed that moment. I thought it was super hype. The games of Street Fighter League have been pretty awesome so far, and I don't know about you guys, but did you enjoy that moment? You know, all the sick blocks and the punish at the end. Yo, I was screaming at that set. Oh, you saw that? It was sick. Yeah, well, you should not have enjoyed it. I'm here to tell you that you guys are dumb and wrong. I thought this moment was hype and sick until I put it onto YouTube, and I was informed so graciously by all the comments in the Clips channel section that I am stupid for thinking that this is hype, and even more so, I might be faking the hype. So yeah, I'm not making this up. I was told, I was informed by my audience here that it's actually nothing to be excited about. This is some everyday stuff. Blocking the mix-up was hype, but the punish was just normal. Yeah, to be honest, I barely ever missed that punish when Sims are floating down. It kind of feels like a 3-frame window, which def ain't bad. This is just a normal punish. Super normal. I always punish Dalsum when he does the instant overhead for the win in a very clutch moment on Street Fighter League for thousands of dollars against the winningest player on the planet at that moment. I always punish. I always land it. It's just a 3-frame window. So, you know, I thought, sure, that's fine. Some people just don't really appreciate high-level Street Fighter, may not really get the context of all of it. And I thought, sure, whatever. It's no big deal. But then I saw another one, and this is where I had to engage. Red here asks, if I may ask, how is this an amazing punish? After the blocked overhead, Dalsum was a sitting duck. Menard had a year and some change to capitalize. This. Men in the same match tried that same punish 3 other times and failed. So I don't know what was so mind-blowing behind this. Like, it was totally expected. I just didn't expect him to finally land it because he messed up the other times. But it was definitely not shocking when he did land it. More like, oh my god, finally he did it. Maybe Brian didn't watch the full set. What was so shocking? Mena legit tried that punish like 2 or 3 other times in that same match and failed. It wasn't like it came out of nowhere when he was trying for it all match. I was hype he finally landed it. Like, oh my god, he did land it, but far from shocking or mind-blowing. I feel like these titles are made for clicks rather than being genuine. So I'm being called out here. I'm being called out because apparently I am faking the titles, faking the reactions to get the clicks. You learn something new every day from the YouTube comments. So why am I bringing this up? So obviously the comments tilted me beyond no end, and I decided to take the mature route and not respond to them directly and instead use this as content for my main YouTube channel, because that's how you get it done. So I think the problem with this moment is that it really demonstrates how sometimes a lack of game experience or knowledge can lead people to thinking that something is not exciting. So this is not a case where there's viewers who have literally no idea what they're looking at. These viewers obviously understand Street Fighter to some degree, but they understand it just enough to be able to write something off as being mundane. So this is kind of the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think, in full effect right here. So I posted this venting on Twitter, and I have to give credit to JP Vari for this response. He said, some people are so far behind they actually think they're leading. and I felt like this was a fire-ass tweet. Hit the nail on the head for how I feel about this. But instead of just, bemoaning people not appreciating the beauty of high-level Street Fighter, I figured why not we break down what's actually going on in the clip and try to give some context, because sometimes it's not just the technical aspects of a moment that make it so hype. So you got to remember the context of this punish. This is Street Fighter League versus the most winning player of all time. So if we look at the match, it's Mena versus Mr. Crimson. Mr. Crimson has been on a tear leading up to this moment. I think they even show in the stats card, Mr. Crimson has won pretty much every event he possibly can in the past year and a half or so. So he is the Red Bull Kumite reigning champion at the moment. He also is the CPT winner for his region, the French region. He's the guy to beat right now. He won his first set against NL. He beat NL with his Dawson band playing G, and he's just been on fire. He hasn't lost in a high-level match with high stakes for a year and a half now at this point. So obviously Mena going to this battle, he has a lot to prove. The Capcom Cup champ from 2017, always playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He gets into this moment and he doesn't pick his main, he doesn't pick his secondary, he doesn't pick his third character either. He ends up picking Balrog, good old Balrog. So this is definitely the perfect matchup to counter Dalsum. So Mena is going with the counter pick. So this already adds stakes and drama and tension to the moment. Mena is going with the counter pick. He's picking a character he doesn't play as much to purposely counter a player to take them down in this team battle format. Also, I believe Bandits, they lost their first set, so they're also down in Street Fighter League. And on top of that, on top of that, if we look at the moments preceding the punish, he missed the punish earlier in the match. So one of the comments was pointing this out, like, oh my God, he finally landed it. Wow, I'm finally glad he did it. This moment here is Mr. Crimson making an execution error, I believe, and then he goes for the same optimal punish, the crouching Fearsome to the upper on the jump jab. But he misses it, but you know what? It's no big deal. He gets punished for it. Keep that in mind. So if you don't know how this actually works, as Dalsum is falling down from the instant overhead, you are punishable the entire time. Yes, that's true. You can press any button at any point and you'll go ahead and hit Dalsum. However, the important thing here is if you hit him out of the air before he touches the ground, he's just going to air reset. You're not going to get too much damage or positioning or really a great punish. So what you need to do is you need to time your punish so that it connects on the recovery frames on the ground. So when he touches the ground is right when you want to punish. And that might be tighter than 3 frames. We'll get into that soon. So you see Mena goes for it here. He does it too early this time. Does it too early, he's out of the air. And with the crouching fierce punish, to get the combo, you do crouching fierce to heavy kick upper, that lets you juggle with the dash punch after. You have to commit to it. You cannot mitigate this. You cannot hit confirm the crouching fierce. You cannot link after the crouching fierce. You have to commit to the cancel to the upper. And if you mistime it, you're gonna get punished. So he mistimes it here, but he gets punished for it. See, he messed up the timing. Mr. Crimson's ready with the light kick into EX Yoga Flame on block, but the reason why this wasn't so big of a deal is that Mena is in the lead at this moment. The punish isn't that extreme, and there's not as much tension. If he landed this punish, it would have been skillful, but it wouldn't have been nearly as hype as the one we're leading up to, of course, because the context is just not there. But you can see here that he already went for the punish one time and he failed it before. It demonstrates how difficult this can be to time in an even less clutch situation. So as you're leading into the final moment here, where he actually does the final block to win the round, you can see that Mr. Crimson is making the comeback. He's been working on this. He's in a really bad position here, getting all the gray damage. He's pretty much one hit away. Definitely one hit away. And then he makes 2 amazing blocks in a row. So Mr. Crimson threw the EX Fireball and teleported behind Mena to set up the cross-up, right? But to add an extra layer of trickiness to it and to maintain corner control in case he successfully blocked, he used the Dalsum drill to do the fake cross-up. Now, admittedly, this wasn't like the tightest timing in the world. It's sort of reactable the way he set it up, but Mena had the presence of mind to block in that situation, and then there's the crucial one. Why is this crucial? If you do not understand what's happening here, when Dalsum dashes forward, he has 2 options to do a pure 50-50. Mena has no resources and has to take the mix-up. He can either do an immediate crouching light kick to slide to hit low, or he can do an immediate jump jab in order to hit high. It's a pure 50-50. Now, normally there's a lot of ways to mitigate that, but with no health, no way around it, it's going to be too tight to armor through. You're going to have to just block. You have to block in this scenario. And Mena knows it, and then he picks his poison, and he says, I'm going to block high. And then he blocks high. Now, during this float, some of the comments pointed out, oh, it's not hard to recognize the punish. It's not. During this float, Mena has all the time in the world to contemplate what punish he's going to do. You know, what did he have for breakfast this morning? Are my shoes untied? He has all the time in the world to think about all these elements. But I'm telling you, that's just the tension leading to the moment. He knows that at this moment, the set win is in his hands. This is when you're at the free throw line in the NBA Finals, and all you have to do is make the free throw. It's that easy, but it's never that easy. It's that easy, but it's never that easy. And I can guarantee you every single YouTube commenter sitting on their ass saying, I do this punish all day in my boxers on my couch with no shoes on, has never in their life come even close to as tense of a situation in gaming as this. Ever. Ever. I guarantee you 10 out of 10 times those dudes would be put in this situation with this much pressure and they would drop the ball. They would throw a brick in this moment. And you know what Mena did? He sat there. He knew what he had to do. He went for the optimal punish, committed. We saw earlier, if he'd mistimed it, he was going to get punished and lose. He knew it was do or die in this moment. And then he clutched. He knew the optimal route. He knew that he had to go for the committal option. He could have gone for a less committal option there. He could have done maybe like a medium kick and then linked after into a jab, but he knew that wouldn't have killed. He knew that he had to do or die right now, because if he left Dhalsim alive, he would just set up another 50-50 and kill him from full screen. So he knew what he had to do, and he landed it. The fact that he missed it earlier in the match shows you that it's even more clutch, because he was not dissuaded from going into it. And that's just the context. That's not even the technical aspects of this situation, because people were saying, oh, it's a 3-frame window, it should be easy. You know, I have backup here. Big Bird here, one of the best Street Fighter V players of all time, second place at EVO, killing it at Street Fighter League champion, said the block was impressive, but what's more impressive was how he managed to time the punish and go for the optimal route. That was amazing. There's a reason why the players in the know appreciate this moment. There's a reason why the good players here are not downplaying the moment and are actually impressed with it. And looking into the replies, there's actually some technical information here. Hatson, who's one of the people who works on Frame Advantage tool, Fat, knows all the ins and outs of the engines of Street Fighter V and fighting games in general, said, too long, didn't read. That punish Boxer did is a 2-frame window. 2-frame window. Now, this might not sound, if you're a hardcore Street Fighter 4 player, a 2-frame window to punish something might not sound too tight. But let me set this context here, right? When you do a link in a combo, you learn the combo and you use the visual cues and the relevant timing from the previous button in order to time your next button, right? Whenever you do a link, there's context. I did this jab, I got to feel out a few frames and do the next medium, right? When you are punishing Dhalsim instant air jab, you do not have any set context in order to get this punish. You do not have it, because it's going to depend on what button you press. 2-frame window when he's punishable on the ground there, right? 2-frame window. You have to adjust your button timing based on how fast or slow your button is. If you have a faster button, you need to wait longer and to press it to hit this window. If you have a slower button, you need to press it earlier before he touches the ground to hit this window. It's a shifting window. So you cannot practice this with just one move. If you practice it with only medium kick, for example, you wouldn't know the timing for crouching fierce punch. So you have to eyeball this raw and kind of feel this raw and relative to your character. So if he hadn't practiced this punish specifically with Balrog crouching fierce punch, and on the other hand practice this with Birdie with doing like a medium punch instead with Birdie, it's not the same timing. It's completely different. And 2 frames is an extremely tight window to land a clutch punish to win a game on a slow as hell overhead. The fact that you have to sit here for a whole day and a half and wait for him to come down and then hit him with precision, commit to this unsafe special cancel, and get the combo to win the set in the clutch after all that pressure is amazing. I don't care what anyone says. In fact, here, I did practice this earlier. Let's take it to training mode. Let's go ahead and try it. I'm going to try the punish 5 times in a row. I was landing it earlier in training mode. I'm not going to throw for content here. I have the recording set up. So he's going to do jab, jab, instant overhead, and he's going to be punishable on the way down. All right, I did that too late. 1, Too late, that's 2. Too late, that's 3. Okay, I'm actually kind of messing up. 4, shit, 4. Okay, 5. Well, I thought I would land it at least once. There we go, 6! 6 times the charm. Listen, I just had the pressure of trying to land this for my YouTube video, and I missed it 5 times in a row. Not throwing, I'm actually trying it, and I hope you guys can appreciate when you look at this. You cannot visually tell the difference between those when you just look at it firsthand. So for people saying that, oh, the blocks or what are impressive, oh, it's not actually hard to do the punish, it's just a very tense moment. No, it's all of those. The blocks were insane, the context made it extremely tense, and the punish itself was difficult. Just doing it in training mode alone is hard. It's hard to do just with no pressure. I'm tired of people talking like they know what they're talking about. Shit's hard, man. If you don't know what's difficult about something, you don't have to speak up. But there's a reason why people get excited when they see these things. One kind of match here that I wanted to bring up, which is often looked at as the most hype match ever for Street Fighter 4, is Momochi versus Daigo at Sunfest Grand Final CPT 2015. And it's often revered for this specific moment as well in the match. That combo, by all means, is amazing. It was amazing to see that combo performed by Daigo in the grand finals of the CPT event. But I have done that combo before, and no one gives a shit. So many people have done that combo. I've had that combo done to me. I've done that combo. I've seen other tournaments where people have done that combo. No one cares if you can land the combo. They're not easy. There's a bunch of one-frame links in them, but you can do them. What makes it so hype is that Daigo got to grand finals of a CPT event with tons and tons of killers versus one of the best players in the world, and then pulled this combo out in tournament against Momochi in order to get the stun, to set up the chip, to reset the bracket. I can do this combo. Could I have done it in that moment? I wouldn't even fucking been in that seat to get to that moment. You gotta understand that context matters for what makes things hype. It matters. If I just do that combo in training mode, it's cool, but it's not going to get me 1.4 million views on YouTube and have people referencing it as one of the greatest moments in Street Fighter 4 history. You cannot miss the forest for the trees. And that's what I realize, is that so many people, when they look at fighting games and they have a cursory understanding of what's going on, they miss the forest every time. They always miss it. And you really don't want to be like that, because you know what I realized after reading these comments is that I recognized one of these comments actually. I was like, huh, that seems kind of familiar. And it turns out, because I know this guy, I've seen his comments before. In fact, he's left a whole essay in the past on one of Team Spooky's video archives from NLBC about how everybody at NLBC is whack and they just need to listen to exactly what he says in order to beat Idom. This shit is getting whack sauce already. Seeing Idom body most people every week is trash, not because he's winning, but because a lot of these players won't study the character matchup and more importantly, the player matchup with Idom. He goes on and on and on and on to list all these mechanical things about how you counter Laura and Idom. And the thing is, he's not wrong. The technical aspects he puts in this essay are correct. He's not wrong about doing the meaty heavy punch and V-reversaling it, or the meaty elbow being +1 at best or 0, or if he mistimes it, it's just gonna whiff. He's not wrong about any of it, but he's still wrong overall. Because just because you know all the frame data and you know the timing of the punish and you know how to do the links, it doesn't mean shit if you can't put it together and win a match. And that's what happens with these YouTube commenters. They see all the trees, but they can't see a forest. So don't be like that. I would recommend don't be like that. If you don't understand why something's hype and other people see the beauty in a moment, don't assume that they didn't watch the full match, or that they are faking their reaction or trying to bait for clicks, because that's when you're questioning my integrity. I just love the game and I love that moment. At this point, just don't ever question what I'm getting hype about ever again. If there's something I'm enjoying it, let me enjoy it. If you're not seeing it, you know what? Maybe one day you will. Maybe one day you won't. Fighting games have beauty in a lot of moments, so don't get hung up on the technical details. See what's going on and appreciate it. And just remember, if you're not sitting there in that moment and you have never been in that moment, I don't think you can comprehend what's going on. I'm just saying, that's just how it is. There's more to it than the technical aspects. And that's all I had for this video. I know I let the YouTube comments get to me. I got baited. What can I say? But hopefully that made some good content for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing to the channel. I always appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.